Make a motion to open the meeting for the Scituate Board of Health, Monday, October 29th, Selectmen Chambers, Town Hall, 6 p.m.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, schedule items. Discuss and vote tobacco compliance check violation, Harborside Wines and Spirits.
Okay, I can.
If you guys want to come up and state names,
Yep.
and then,
Yep, and I can give a
Just
rough
stay down
Yep.
using the
Yeah.
microphone.
yeah, you can pull up another chair, I don't know.
Taylor Tibbetts.
Okay,
Okay, so I have a little update from the police department. So Lieutenant Norton was working a pre-planned detail for the purpose of conducting tobacco compliance checks at our licensed establishments in the town of Scituate. He was accompanied by Officer Asano and a 20-year-old individual. The legal age to purchase tobacco in Scituate's 21. The purpose was to send the 20-year-old person into each licensed establishment and to have them attempt to buy tobacco without showing identification. The buyer was provided with money from the Scituate Police Department funds. The buyer was not in possession of her own money or any other property while conducting this assignment. So on 9/25/2018, between the hours of 1800 and 2200, we brought the buyer to each licensed store. It should be noted that Mary Lou's News and the Egypt Beach store and the Vapor store had closed prior to that. So 1 pack of Marlboro Red cigarettes was sold to Harborside Liquors during that time frame.
Harborside Wine and Spirits.
They called it, yeah.
okay. So I guess, what is your policy? How do you guys usually do it?
Does it describe the clerk?
No.
No.
So we're hoping it was a gal that had started right around that time, who is a mom and is responsible, and we probably just didn't say. Thanks. Regarding the cigarettes.
Right.
You know, she's SIP certified and used to handling alcohol.
That could have been a failure on our part for not establishing the age difference.
Right.
But we do have signs on the tobacco and by the register saying that both tobacco and liquor are 21 with the date, so that
And
it's
it's never our intention to allow underage people to buy tobacco or alcohol, so we're certainly sorry, embarrassed, and
Do you have anything like through the register they scan, like an ID if they ask, or is it just
we're
a check?
implementing one of those at some
Okay.
point.
Okay,
we don't have one at all.
okay.
I met with the town administrator and someone from Fax and the chief about 10 days ago. to
Yeah, because
discuss
I know
that.
they're really cracking down, not only cities, local stores, the government, the federal government and FDA are really cracking down on the tobacco and also the wine and beer.
So with that in place, then
Yeah.
there'll be no judgment.
Right. Do you have any?
No, the only thing I was gonna say is, I think this was your first offense, and just so you know, I don't think anybody intends to do that, but there are people out there that are checking, so,
Mhm.
as you're aware of, you're here.
Yeah.
So I hope it doesn't
Right.
happen again.
No, and we don't, we're not.
And it's, you got the signage up,
Yeah.
and the other thing is too, if this was an alcohol sale where it's 21, it could even,
Yeah, and we treat all sales the same, lottery included, so.
So I'm inclined to just let you know that, it's a warning, and that's it, but
We appreciate that.
the board has the authority to do fines, to take licenses away, to let you know, so it's, I'm a firm believer, everybody makes a mistake once, and that's what it is, but, I just don't want to see that thing again.
No,
Yeah,
that-
use
For your benefit and mine, I don't want to be a bad guy.
No.
It's not my nature.
And use it as a warning,
we
not
live-
a,
we live
not
in
a
the-
warning, but
we
a
live in the
learning
community.
curve.
Wake up,
You know.
everybody, yes.
Do you have anything?
No, I would just tell your staff, zero tolerance, and you must know who was working that day.
Right.
So,
There are multiple people.
Yeah, there might have been
working.
5
or
people.
whoever
Oh,
was
yeah,
working,
so-
I think,
Just review.
We typically, when something like that
Right.
happens, there's a description of the clerk, but we were expecting to learn that, but.
yeah.
Okay,
So-
do you want to make a motion? Do we have to make a motion?
I don't know if we have to make a motion, or I think the
You
warning
do.
is there, and you understand what we're here for.
Yeah.
And
But
the
most
compliance
of
checks, and I do say, years ago, there used to be a South Shore Tobacco Collaborative
Yeah.
that really used to do
Right.
checks, and they do them 2-3 times a year.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know, I don't know if the agent knew, but as the board, I didn't know the Scituate Police Department was doing this. And if they do it once a year, that's great. If they do it twice a year, it's great.
Right.
As we said before, we're not out to hurt anybody, but
Correct.
we just want people to know that they do care, that there are laws there in place, so, yeah.
And we take it seriously, don't think for a
Yeah.
minute that we don't.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I believe you, no,
No.
I grew up in a business. Since I was a little kid, my dad owned a liquor store, and I get it. And no, sometimes, like I said, unfortunate things happen, I just don't want to see it repeated, that's all. I wish you the best with your business.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I make a
Do we
motion.
need to make a motion? I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Well,
Do just a verbal warning, and that was it?
You can do that if you want, yeah,
Make
or,
a verbal warning.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's all it is, so,
Okay,
yeah.
so you want to do one?
I don't know what the motion is.
Just, we've issued a verbal warning to Harborside Liquors for
All right.
tobacco
So I'll
sales.
make a motion that a verbal warning was issued to Harborside Liquors.
Thank you.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Our
thanks.
apologies again.
No
Thanks a
problem.
lot.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay. Discuss and vote tobacco compliance check violation, Scituate Package Store.
Hey, good evening.
How you doing?
Good. I'm Frank Colpoys. I'm an attorney, Scituate resident, office in Marshfield, and I represent Scituate Package Store. And I'll let Alex introduce himself.
Alexia, who is?
And he's the manager of the store.
Okay.
Yep.
okay, so.
It's a family-owned business, and he's the son of the actual owner.
So this was the same day, for the Scituate, during the same period of time from the, police report, and 1 pack of Juul tobacco pods was sold.
This was a situation kind of similar in that it appears that it was one of the newer clerks who worked there and just made a mistake, sold the pod. It wasn't a pack of cigarettes, it was the vape type of, electronic cigarette type of situation, sold the pods. The package store does have that scanning system
Okay.
that is used. They've implemented that.
For alcohol and for cigarettes?
Correct.
Okay.
But this clerk made a mistake and sold it, evidently, to, we've nothing to dispute that the facts aren't accurate here, obviously. And that's what happened. And
My only question is, was there a violation at this establishment not too long ago
For the liquor.
for liquor? It wasn't for tobacco? Did we not have a tobacco violation? I can't remember.
No, it was for,
2 years ago?
no, it was a different establishment, it wasn't this one.
Okay.
I looked it up. Didn't see anything.
No, fair enough, if that's what it is. Yeah, maybe I'm just reading in the paper and getting crisscrossed, but it's the same thing as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned, I'm sorry. Especially when you sell liquor. Cigarettes is one thing, and the town of Scituate went to 21 to try to keep cigarettes out of the high school and away from kids. You also sell liquor in your establishment, so, you know, you gotta know better. So, you know, just don't wanna see it, don't wanna see it again, and it's obvious they do checks, so, like I said, we're not here to hurt you, we don't want to, we want to see you succeed in business in Scituate, we want to see you do well, but also there's rules and laws that must be followed, and we do check, I guess.
Yep.
It's, you know,
I've talked to them,
police department.
they understand, and I think they'll.
Yeah, I mean, I
he wants-
know the one with the liquor, and then you brought in the computer for checking IDs and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just make sure, because turnover in all stores, convenient and all that, keep changing. I would just make sure, make it part of your practice when you hire, review, or check every so often, hey, you didn't card that person, they didn't look really that old, or whatever, however you want to do it. But as I said, I know there was an article a couple of weeks ago that the federal government gave out $6 million to start doing all these
Checks.
checks and stuff. So the towns, the city, all want money, so they're doing whatever they have to.
Yep.
Besides that, you flatter people when you ask them for their ID. You really think that? Sure, yeah. So-
And if they go to-
If you're over 21, you don't
And if you
mind
go to the
giving it.
Sox and Pats games, you get carded up until 60, 70, 80 years old.
You know, we just want to see you have a good business, and
So.
you don't want to see you do right business, so. And as I said to the other person, we are here, we can levy fines, we can remove your license. We've done it in the past. I don't need to name the establishments, but we've taken licenses away for a week to 10 days, usually during like vacations or something, where kids are out of school and things like that, so the authority's there, we can do that. I don't want to do that. I don't
Right.
think this board wants
No.
to. We didn't sign up to be bad guys.
And we don't want to hurt people's business.
And that's right, we want you to succeed in Scituate, so I mean, just, it's a.
Tighten the belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right, I just assume leave it at that, and, you know, again, I said it earlier, it hasn't changed, but just, you know, people make a mistake, and let's just try not to do it again.
Make motion?
So, make a motion to, just, issue verbal warning,
Second?
first offense.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yep.
You too, thank you.
Okay. Discuss and vote septic design hearing, 603 Hadley Road. Margaret Wood, homeowner request of installation of septic system requiring local upgrades and variances.
Excuse me. We've all had a couple of days.
Yeah.
I read it.
Oh, you read it.
I read that too.
If you want to state your names and addresses and that for the record.
I'm Paul Schwartz, 16 Kimberly Road, Scituate, Mass. I'm here with my sister Marguerite.
Okay.
Marguerite Wood, 603 Hatherley, Scituate.
Okay.
Okay, I can give a little bit of a background.
Okay.
The owners came into the Board of Health. Marguerite is the owner of 603 Hatherley Road. She had Grady Consulting do a plan for the Board of Health in 2002. The owners indicated that that plan was approved. In 2002, we had no information or file for this address in our office. Previous health agent suggested that she resubmit the plan with a permit application to the Board of Health because it currently needs variances and upgrades to the 2002 plan. They've filled out a 9A form, and I think I sent to you exactly what they're asking for, and maybe the owner will go through some of the requests that they're asking for on their variances and their upgrades.
Okay, so the previous plan was approved. We have all the documentation in our files, and we have since provided that to Teresa and Joan. We initiated this contact with Jennifer back when she was here, and Marguerite has filled out all the paper and documentation. Prior to that, 10, 12 years ago, she spent thousands of dollars hiring an engineer to come in and do the design, go through the submittal to the, all the neighbors, and come in and review that, and then deal with objections and so forth. So she's been through the process. It was permitted by the town, it was permitted also by the state. I think the EPA was required back then. And we have all the documentation here. So we're resubmitting it. The work was never done. The economy took a turn for the worse, and now she's getting to the point where she wants to do that to make improvements to her house. Again, she's already paid thousands of dollars to engineers. We want to try to see if the information you guys need to approve this is readily available, and we can provide that to you. We started this process a month and a half ago. We were hoping to get some feedback and comments sooner, but we understand with the transition that you're going through right now with the agent, that wasn't available. So we're here to help and provide whatever information that would be useful to get this process going again.
And I did get the abutter cards for the letters that go, just want to make
Yeah.
note of that.
It just seemed like there was a lot of mismatch and questions. I don't know if you,
We haven't seen that yet.
Oh.
The Title V reviewer, the file went out for current Title V review because it doesn't meet Title V. It needs local upgrades as well as variances.
Okay.
So I can give you some of the information that was, that I had forwarded to you. So the Title V reviewer has made the recommendation to the board that to continue the hearing to have the design engineer attend the meeting, because there seems to be some things that need to be addressed, and they were unanswered on the information that was given on the plan. Couple of questions is why this particular location was selected. The perk test locations were not noted on the plan. Is there another septic system that will be feasible for this property? What conditions did the health agent, Jennifer Sullivan, put on the plan at the time in 2002? The septic plan does not show the above-ground ledge. The septic plan proposed leaching field has pipes that are at different elevation levels. Why can't the leaching field be flattened? The Form 9A is not signed by the soil evaluator, member, or an agent of the local approving authority. The septic system permit application is not stamped or signed by a design engineer, which is one thing we require. And the electrical note is not in the plan that electrical work must be done by a licensed electrician and a permit pulled and work inspected and approved by the town wiring inspector. So there are some things missing from the plan. We don't have a copy of the plan in the office, so we don't really know what Jennifer Sullivan had done back at that time with the board, and we don't have any other board information.
We dropped off 4 plans and a copy of just about everything here in the
So
file.
there
Might be just a time thing, so I mean, I guess there are some questions, so
Sure.
you know, just a matter of it needs review. That was 16 years ago.
Correct.
I'm not sure what happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what they were requesting is a setback of the leaching field and the septic tanks to the property line from the required 10 feet to a requested 5 feet, reduction in the leaching field location setback to the water service from the required 10 feet to the requested 4.5 feet. And as far as variances, reduction in separation between the SAS and the high groundwater from the required 4 feet to the requested 2 feet, a 50% reduction in leaching system size requirements, and the bottom of the excavation, they're asking that cannot be level.
Yeah, so it's, some of this, from what I'm hearing, there's not a lot of variances here. We've had approved in the past, and it's part of what we do, but you gotta look at the plan and review it.
Okay.
Go over it. And 16 years ago, that was a totally different board, different agents,
Yeah.
different everything. How it got lost, I don't know. I
Yeah.
couldn't even, I'm not
Again,
even
I could
speculating.
provide you guys with whatever documentation you have.
No, that's fine. You can provide it to the agent and probably, if there's gonna be changes made, the engineer will have to look at that plan again.
Certainly.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the next step would us get a copy of the issues, or
Sure.
just
And
give you guys more
I'll
time,
forward
or?
that. I can forward and you can discuss with your design engineer some
Are
of
you
the
still in
things that
contact with Grady?
We are,
Yeah.
we're hoping, I mean, if we can work with you guys to focus on the things that we need them to do.
It's,
and then-
well,
yeah.
yeah, they could probably look at this list here.
Yeah.
It's almost a punch list of what the review engineer
Right.
saw. So that's basically what they're saying is, have him go over it, he can write right on it, revised, you know,
Right.
10/27/18, boom, 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 as requested by Board of Health. And-
Good. Okay.
And then it'll go back for review again to the agent,
Mm-hmm.
and then at that point, at some point, you'll come back in to request the variances.
Okay.
And they may look at it again and see something and change it, and then there may be technology changes too, that they might be able to redesign it, and give you something better. 16 years, that's a long time ago.
I asked him, he said, I talked to him about it, he said it's pretty state of the art, it's not changed that much significantly.
Okay.
So that's
It has what it has, so, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a jet system,
Yeah.
so, I mean.
The jet system, yeah, yeah, and so, yeah, I don't see anything in here that sounds crazy, it just gotta get it up to snuff, that's all.
So,
Yeah.
so essentially what you're saying is that we need to have these questions answered by the engineer
Yeah, or changes put on the plan,
and
exactly.
have him write it on the actual plan. I'm sorry to
Exactly.
be so.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
they'll resubmit it. No worries, no,
No, no.
that-
Yeah.
you can give him, he should have that old plan in his file, and
Mhm.
he could break it out and just look at it and say, no, that's right, it needs to be changed, or no, you guys aren't reading it right, and he'll write a letter back to the agent.
Okay.
And then at some point, when everybody says, okay, that looks good, then you'll resubmit that plan to the Board of Health. And these variances need board approval, so the three of us have to take a look at it and say,
Okay.
no, that's okay. But I was saying earlier with most repairs or things that go on, we grant these variances regularly. If that's all you can do, then that's the best you can do, then we allow that. It would not be allowed for new construction, so that's a different story, you know. Like a raw piece of land, we don't give variances for new construction.
Understood.
Yeah, but
Okay.
for existing property, it's pretty regular. Yeah, yeah, so, no, we want to help, it's just the plan's old, and we kind of got to go through the process, and I'm sorry for that, it's time.
Oh, no,
but-
I totally understand.
Yeah, it's-
We just want to get whatever that information
Right.
is so we can move on to the next step.
Exactly.
It's been a
Yeah.
month and a half, and we're just trying to, right, for the ground freezes. you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you'll
yeah.
send that back to
Hopefully
them?
this year the ground doesn't freeze,
Ah.
yeah, or flood.
Right, right.
I'll
Yeah.
forward that to you. Should I forward it to the email that you had?
Yeah, that's fine, thanks, John.
We'll do that. I'll forward that to you and you can get to your engineer.
Right.
Yeah, for this one.
Yeah,
Good, good, good.
well, it's just gonna, I guess we'll just continue this, yeah,
There's two there, there's one to approve.
so I'll make a motion to continue. How much time do you think they might need, you think a month,
The next meeting's not till November 29th.
which is a month?
Yes.
So,
We could schedule it for
can
that.
I give them this?
I'm gonna forward it, I'm gonna forward the email to them.
Electronically?
Yep, I'm gonna forward the review to
Okay.
them, so they will know.
So that'll be done tomorrow?
Yep.
So basically from tonight, you've got a month and a day.
Okay,
And we can change that meeting, we're not meeting for a month.
No, no,
So
that's good.
the quickest we can meet. If
You
you
need
can't
more
make that
time.
date, you can call up and say, hey, we need another 2 weeks. It's not, we're here forever, we're down in Scituate, we're here.
Don't say forever.
Yeah, well, I'd do it in 2 weeks if you thought you could get it done in 2 weeks, we're not trying to install you.
we'll
No.
shoot for that, and if we need more time, we'll let Joe know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if she gets it to you tomorrow, you can theoretically have it to your engineer tomorrow
Right.
and get him started on it. And then it's up
Right.
to him how quick, or her, how quick the engineer is, so.
Right.
Yeah, and then we need a little bit of time to review it too, we can't just do it on a whim, but I think a month should be, we should be able to do it in a month, so.
Great.
If we can, we can let them
Yeah,
know.
so, yeah, make a motion to continue till November
29.
20.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye, Teresa.
All right, Assistant Director Report.
Okay. So, we're in our new location and we're getting settled in.
You guys gotta go see it, it's top of the.
I know, is it super nice? Are you parking in there?
Back,
backing it
I'm
in,
working on it,
not
though.
forward?
I'm working on it.
No clickers
That'd be
yet.
nice in the winter.
I know, that's what we said. But we're still getting settled and still getting unpacked, but it's a great location and we're very happy about the move.
When's the housewarming party?
When we get unpacked, right, Teresa? We're not unpacked yet.
Try to work on that.
Yeah, try to work and unpack. So we have an update on the flu clinics. We had one October 20th, which was very successful. The nurse gave out 30 vaccines, so we still have some, so we're letting people know that we still have vaccines so they can get vaccinated. The health nurse is in on Wednesdays from 8:30 to 9:30 to give out flu vaccinations, and from 8:30 to 11:30 on Thursdays every morning, so. For housing, we have 3 cases that are unchanged. We got a new one today, so now it's 4. So the private wells, we're working on 5 certificate of compliances. We're waiting for revisions to come back and lab results to come back for the wells that have been installed. Nuisance cases, we have 6 open nuisance cases, 2 new ones from the last meeting. For septic, very busy. 5 new septic plans have been received since our last meeting. There are 6 new as-bills received for COCs, for compliance. We're following up on 8 septic system plans that need certificate of compliances. For failures, we have 1 less from the last meeting with a new system that has been installed and a certificate of compliance was issued, which makes a total of 15. For operation and maintenance, we have 2 outstanding operation and maintenance contracts, 1 outstanding operation and maintenance repair. For food, we had fall for Scituate yesterday. I was there with the food inspector. It went really well. It was cold in the morning, but the sun came out, and they really had a good, successful event. There were a lot of people there. There were 11 food vendors that we permitted for that event. We're tracking 4 environmental releases, and that's all I have. I think that's enough.
So does the nurse do it over at the new building?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she has an office over there. She will do it in for
All right.
flus, for flu vaccines.
Can I?
Yep.
Am I allowed to say something? Because I haven't
seen you all afternoon. In the mail today came, an operation and
Maintenance
maintenance
Oh,
contract
okay.
for Cliffside.
oh, good, that's a
For
good
that one that
update,
we were
okay, because we
waiting
were
for.
waiting for one,
Oh,
for
good.
come in for Cliffside,
We
okay,
got it
great.
from the company.
Oh, that's, okay, there you go, that's an
So
update,
that
we were
knocks
waiting
one
for
off the
them,
wood.
yeah, we had called them and they said they were working on it and they had approved it, so we were just waiting to get a copy of that, so that's good, that's one less. All right,
Sweet.
that's an update.
All right, discuss septic betterment program.
So what I gave you for betterment documents last time, and I don't have them there, is what we're currently gonna go with. I did get an update from the treasurer.
Last meeting.
I have it if you want to look at it.
Yeah, I looked at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have any,
I think it
we're
looked
all-
good.
I think
we'll
it's
look like we're
great.
getting ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
The treasure collector is, look like they're gonna be ready to go. Funds are usually dispersed between January and June through the DEP, so, they're looking at January 1st for a start date for funds. So that will probably, by the time, you know, you approve and people apply, that's probably a good time frame, because you're gonna have to approve the applications that come in for
So what
this.
will happen on that, once everything's approved on this,
Mhm.
then what, something goes on the website that it's now?
Yep, we have to do a press release, to let people know of when it's gonna be effective. So after you make the approval, we'll have to do a press release. And then, after that press release goes out, then we'll put all the information on the website with all the applications and all the documents that they have to be filled out, that they can fill. And then, we'll take it from there. I mean, if you have any other changes on there, we can bring it back to the next meeting for a vote, unless you want the treasurer to be here at this, treasure collector's office to be here. But
I
I
mean,
think,
I think it's
I think
great, I
we've-
read through it.
I think on ours,
Yeah.
I think we're fine.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they have to come in to,
Nope,
or if
nope,
they approve theirs and,
Nope,
I
nope,
mean.
they're ready to go. They've
So
already been
everything
working
was
with the
set and
state.
approved.
They have to do their part.
They like what you've written.
They're doing all their part. So they said that they would go with whatever the Board of Health wants to, how you ever wanna run it. They're just responsible for
the funds,
Roll it out the window.
money and the betterment,
and collecting.
collecting and all that, so, and they're working on their part for that.
So when could we go to vote, the next meeting?
Yeah, I think if you
I mean,
want,
as
I'll
long as
bring,
they have-
yeah, I
I
think
mean,
we
I-
have
I-
everything. I don't think we're missing anything at this point. So as long as they say, we just have to check to make sure it doesn't have to go to legal. So I'll check with that and
Okay.
see
Yeah, I mean,
if any of this has to go for them to check.
if not, I'm fine to go to vote that next meeting.
Okay,
I don't see where it would, but it's not a bad idea for something
yeah,
like
we'll
this.
just run it by them.
have-
Mhm.
Just review it.
Yeah, 'cause it's been a while since we did it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And a lot of these forms we did take from our previous betterment program as well. And then we used some from other towns, which the state had suggested some towns that we should look at, and we did. We looked at their,
Okay.
I don't think this board uses town council much, it's not a bad thing to have. them review
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
so,
Let them know it's still here.
All right, so we'll do that for the
All
next
right.
meeting.
And the last thing, administrative invoices.
Okay, so we have a couple here, not too many. File folders and some doc things we needed for WB Mason, that's it.
Garage clicker.
Gold plated.
That would be good in the winter.
Right. Titanium.
All right. Make a motion to adjourn.
Those are the bullet ones.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.